Good afternoon. It is 1 1:40 Eastern Standard Time here in Indianapolis. I'm Darren Watts, and today I have decided that I'm going to start something new, and it's pretty much just wanting to try something different for myself. It's affiliated with Double Take Sports Talk, of course, the podcast I do with Darrell, but it's something that I wanted to do, and it's talk about briefly, and I mean very briefly, about trending topics that is going on in the world today and sports related stuff as well. So I wanted to just take a couple minutes and do that because I think staying on top of trending topics, it's very good to have a good conversation, have a very good conversation about. So this is actually called Darren's Notes. So welcome to the first episode. The purpose again is to talk about the things that are trending that we can't do during our podcast. I aim to post trending topics weekly and as often as needed as well. So I'm looking forward to doing this, and I'm just so ready to do this. Some topics again are sports related and world topics, and as always, and I say this in the podcast, it's more than sports. Okay, it's more than your entertainment. The NBA and the NFL shows how players are involved in their communities. It's not to be cute, but it's to let everyone know that this is more than sports. Okay, so when you are watching your favorite player play, they do have a personal life out of that in particular sport that they're playing. So just bear that in mind when talking about these trending topics, and be mindful of the things that are being said and things that you have to take into consideration when people are going through things, when professional athletes are going through things. Today, there's going to be four quick topics that I want to talk about really quick. The first one is going to be about Bobby Wagner and the protester that ran onto the field. The second one is the NBA warning cards. I think this is very important to talk about as well. The third one is going to be the NFL joint statement on Tua and the concussion protocols that went through. And then the last one is hashtag World Mental Health Day. And I'm going to really talk about that as well. But it's also going to be brief. This whole thing is just brief and just quick to the point. So let's get to it. The first thing is the protester that filed the lawsuit or the suit against Bobby Wagner. The protester that ran onto the field during the Rams 49ers game filed a police report on Bobby Wagner. Now, apparently, he didn't like being hit by Wagner. The Santa Clara Police Department is running this active investigation. Wagner reacted, "It is what it is. You don't know the motives of people, and you have to protect yourself and the coaching personnel. It's behind me, and I'm not focused on it." The purpose of protesting is to do it peacefully without breaking the law. There's a time and a place for it. Many people support Wagner for his actions, and one of those is head coach Sean McVay. Kyle Shanahan supported Wagner's decision to stop the protester, the other coach on the other side of the field. So here are my quick thoughts on that real quick. It's one thing to protest, but it's another to protest and break the law behind it. So use your First Amendment rights wisely. If you're looking for an excuse to get out of your decision to run out onto the field, you're wrong. Because the fact is that you ran out onto the field and you didn't think nothing about it before you even ran out there and did it. So you can't look for an excuse because you broke the law. Okay, mind that. You can't make an excuse for that. Period. So you have to pay for the consequence that you did, your actions and what you did. You have to pay for that. Look at other supporters or protesters that go out and protest, except for the insurrectionists on January 6th. They were not protesters. They were a different breed. So look to protesters that have protested that have not broke the law and use their First Amendment rights wisely. Second thing is the NBA code of conduct. This goes along actually with Bobby Wagner in this lawsuit. Now, the NBA came out with warning cards, and I think all sports leagues should do this. They came out with a warning card in all NBA games that read this, and I'm paraphrasing this, but the actual statement is going to be on the screen. You are being issued a warning that the comments, gestures, and/or behaviors directed at players, coaches, game officials, and/or other spectators constitute excessive verbal abuse that violates the NBA fan code of conduct. This is the first and only warning that you will receive. If, after you receive this warning, you verbally abuse any player, coach, game official, or spectator, you would be immediately ejected from the arena without a refund. My thought process on this, and it's a good move. I said that right smack dab at the beginning of this. This is a good move. All sports related type of ordeals, they should be doing this. All NFL, NBA, soccer, all of them should be doing this. When I went to the games, and even when I worked at Lucas Oil, I thought they announced it, and they did, and it would go through loudspeakers. But I guess fans can use that as an excuse if they weren't at the arena to hear the award. And then again, they can use the excuse, "Oh, I wasn't at the arena to hear it on the loudspeaker." So when you get to the loudspeakers, "Oh, I wasn't paying attention," because you gotta, unpack the bag and do this and get surged to do that. Excuse after excuse after excuse. So they can also use that they're partially deaf. Okay, so physically handing them out a card with the warning on it is the best written documentation that you can have. After that, there's no more excuses for any type of racist behavior or ignorance, period. Because there's a lot of that was going on right after the NBA had let spectators come back into the arena. There was a lot of that going on. And there's probably some things going on in the NFL we don't probably know nothing about. The third one is the joint NFLPL statement. They did not find anything wrong with the process. In short statement, Tua went through Sunday to narrow this statement down. The injuries in question was an aggravated back injury, which he re-aggravated, which caused him to stumble, and an ankle injury. Tua did not display concussion symptoms during his locker room exam or any time afterwards. The medical staff involved that the gross motor instability suffered by Tua was not neurologically caused. The NFLPA will continue to make a high priority for concussions for everybody and ensure that the protocols are followed when a player displays them. Now, I don't have thoughts on this protocol, because it hasn't really changed anything, in my personal opinion. But after watching these games this past week, where Tom Brady got a call for arresting the passer and Derek Carr got one, it begs the question that the refs are taking this too far. Helmet to helmet is a call that should always be made, but football is a physical sport. Quarterbacks that can't handle being hit from the shoulders down when being sacked, or you think that you should just be protected because of your age, is getting out of hand. Just turn the sport into flag football. Just turn it into flag football. Longevity will last then. You must be ready to get hit, because that's what football is. It's a physical sport. Some things are not intentional because players are trying to make plays. Still, you could tell when one is obvious. Like after the player is dead, a player come in and hit a defenseless player. Or a player that does the same thing to a quarterback after the ball was thrown roughly after 4 seconds. It's just something to think about. And the last thing is hashtag World Mental Health Day. Yesterday, October 10th, was World Health Mental Day. Yesterday was World Mental Health Day. Many people may not take it as seriously as they should, but some people should take it seriously, and some people do. And ensure that others and themselves, yourself, are looking after your mental health and theirs. Be aware of the warning signs when someone needs to pay attention to their mental health. What are the warning signs when the mental health needs attention? Number one, talking about feeling empty or having no reason to live. Number two, talking or thinking about death often. 3, changing eating and or sleeping habits. 4, withdrawal from family and friends. Them are the 4 topics I wanted to talk about really quickly and run through it. But that's it for me for this first episode. Check out our podcast, Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. We talk sports and go outside of sports as well. Again, it's more than sports. It's still players' personal lives. They still have to live in this world, and they're not made expectations to the law and discrimination that professional players get because they speak up on world issues. I'm Darren. Catch me next week as I continue to give, or catch me next time as I continue to give my thoughts on trending topics in the sports world and some outside the sport. Thank you for watching.